significant development, of course, that came in from the United States of America in deciding to drop the GBU-43 bomb at the Afpak region, popularly, of course, known as the Moab, which is its official name there as well, which literally stands for Mother of All Bombs. The clear target here being the ISIS tunnels in the Afghanistan region. The bomb that was dropped at 7 p.m. local time in Afghanistan, the biggest non-nuclear bomb that explodes mid-air to cause maximum damage. It's the first time here that the bomb has been used in battle. According to Afghanistan officials, the US MOAB airstrike there killed 36 ISIS terrorists. The AFP also quotes Afghan officials confirming this death toll. The family of one of the 21 missing Kerala youths, though, who allegedly joined the ISIS, say that Murshid, the Kerala ISIS suspect, has been reported dead in this very attack.
We are so proud of our military, and it was another successful event. We have the greatest military in the world, and they've done a job as usual. So we have given them total authorization, and that's what they're doing. And frankly, that's why they've been so successful lately. If you look at what's happened over the last 8 weeks and compare that really to what's happened over the last 8 years, you'll see there's a tremendous difference, So we have incredible leaders in the military, and we have incredible military, and we are very proud of them, and this was another very, very successful mission.
I can't say that this was an immediate outcome of any conversations we had with the Afghan government. I think it's part of our ongoing efforts to take the fight to the Taliban, to take the fight to ISIS affiliates that are operating in that territory, Al-Qaeda affiliates that are operating on Afghan soil, and that's going to continue. You spoke about Pakistan and their role in this. We've been very clear. While we understand that Pakistan has made efforts to confront terrorism and terrorist organizations on its own soil, that there are still what we call safe havens that exist for terrorist groups to operate from and carry strikes out on Afghanistan. That's a problem. Again, it's in Pakistan's interest to work with constructively with Afghanistan to address those security concerns.
Around 7 p.m. local time in Afghanistan last night, the United States military used a GBU-43 weapon in Afghanistan. The GBU-43 is a large, powerful, and accurately delivered weapon. We targeted a system of tunnels and caves that ISIS fighters used to move around freely, making it easier for them to target U.S. military advisors and Afghan forces in the area. The United States takes the fight against ISIS very seriously, and in order to defeat the group, we must deny them operational space, which we did. The United States took all precautions necessary to prevent civilian casualties and collateral damage as a result of the operation.
While the United States and President Trump have definitely shown the equivalent of military muscle, one question that often remains is, what is the political objective of any given military initiative, whether it is a cruise missile in Syria or in this case the use of this massive ordnance? Because the United States has been dealing with a war against terror now since 2001. So questions will be asked. Already former Afghan President Hamid Karzai has condemned the use of such ordnance.
The United States wanted to test a new weapon, which have already tested in US, and now they are testing it again in Afghanistan. There is also another message, to the political message and military message to the North Korean, to the Iranian, to the Russians, that the Americans are going to use, even to the Chinese actually, that the Americans are going to use the new generations of weapons to achieve its objectives.
Congress leader and former Union Minister, Mr. Manish Tiwari. Sir, the US strike on Afghanistan, how do you perceive it as an act against terror? Can India also replicate the same?
Well, the United States has used the mother of all bombs, the largest non-nuclear weapon in their arsenal against the ISIS Khorasan, in order to denude their infrastructure. But the question which the United States should ask itself is, there is no difference between the ISIS Khorasan, the Taliban, the Haqqani network, the Quetta Shura, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Sipah-e-Sibhai, and above all the Jamaatul Dawa. So therefore, if the US is serious about dismantling the infrastructure of terror in South Asia, then the approach has to be seamless. The difficulty in the US approach from 2001 onwards, when they commenced operations in Afghanistan, is that they have one standard when it comes to denuding the terrorist infrastructure on the western border of Pakistan, and a completely different standard when it comes to the eastern border of Pakistan, which overlooks India. Even the United States has been winking at the activities of all these terror groups which target India. There's a need, and now with the American NSA coming to India for his first visit, his interlocutors need to emphasize upon him that the US approach needs to be holistic rather than segmented.
So also the US NSA is expected to visit India this weekend in light of the fact that Kulbhushan Jadhav, Indian authorities are trying to bring him back and to save him from the gallows in Pakistan. How do you view this visit?
Nothing will happen. Nothing will come out of it. The Pakistanis are past masters at chicanery. If they could play the US for all these years, take their money and also shelter Osama bin Laden, you are dealing with an extremely duplicitous state in the form of the deep state in Pakistan. So therefore, to expect the US or anybody else to do the heavy lifting would be absolutely erroneous. What the government of India needs to really concentrate upon is mobilizing those sections of the Pakistani society, and there are substantive number of people out there who believe that this death sentence is wrong. It's been handed down in a kangaroo court fashion, and therefore try and build up public opinion within Pakistan and internationally in order to see that Kulbhushan Jadhav is brought home.
So that's Mr. Manish Tiwari clearly stating that the duplicit stand of Pakistan would not be affected by any diplomatic measures which would be adopted by India in due course. In Delhi with video journalist Ajay, this is Abhimanyu Sharma for NewsX.
Let's get in further inputs here from our assistant editor Ashish Singh. Ashish, apart from the reactions, of course, that are specifically coming in on the target of this MOB attack in the Afpak region, what's in it for India to learn from this perhaps, or to gain from this attack?
Certainly it's going to boost the platform and the moral of the Indian government, in case they have been planning specifically after the Kulbhushan Jadhav episode, that what are the actions that can be taken against Pakistan to eliminate those terror launch pads that are being completely given full platform by Pakistan in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. We have seen in recent past that how Indian government has been exploring and surprising the Pakistan with its move. It's certainly not the way that the steps were taken under the UPA regime for at least last until 2014, from 2004 to 2014, and the BJP government has been doing a lot of arm twist tactics and surgical strike, Indus Water Treaty, and there are various diplomatic and threat level mechanisms that have been adopted. But this kind of action by US government against Afghanistan will certainly help India think much better and stronger way as far as taking any action against Pakistan is concerned. But I'll inform our viewers that I was speaking to some of the top air marshals, serving air marshals and generals of the Indian Army and Indian Air Force. What they told us is that certainly it's going to give us at the international level a lot of platform, but it's not going to be easy the way US bombed with MOAB on Afghanistan. Pakistan is a rogue state. They have much better air defense. It's not going to be easy for the Indian Armed Forces or the Indian Air Force to directly go into Pakistan airspace and drop any such bomb. But yes, there are other methods that in case India conducts any such operation on Pakistan soil, we are likely to get a little more support from the international community. And US as well would be a key player, since they have done a similar in past.
Absolutely.
They would also not oppose to a larger extent.
The motive, of course, being largely on attacking terror camps, on the global fight there against terror. Stay on with us, Ashish. Getting in a word here of you from retired Brigadier Harvansh Singh with us. Thanks for being with us. In your view, as I was asking my colleague here as well, apart from all the international positive reactions, of course, that have come in for the United States in that fight against ISIS specifically, on what's in it for India to take away? Sir, is my voice going through, please?
Hello.
Yes, Brigadier Singh, can you hear me?
Okay. Now it's okay. Yeah, I can hear you, please.
Yes, sir, the
Okay,
question...
we can consider all these things, but...
Please go ahead.
Sorry?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Terrorist camps are a specific example which we can consider to take action against, but we have to develop capability commensurate with the retaliation which Pakistan will certainly like to indulge in. So it's a question of who has got what capability. Now capability also includes your intelligence, your weapon systems, your defense systems, and your diplomatic system, plus the world opinion which will be there. Now if we can take care of all these things, then targeting terrorist camps may be considered. But we have to remember one thing, that we should only go for high value targets. There is no point going for low value targets and vitiating the atmosphere everywhere. So if you can find very high value targets who have got direct linkages with problems in Kashmir and cross border terrorism, yes, it can be considered. But then we have to develop matching capability by way of intelligence, weapon system, and
Right. But this has
action
been
against
displayed in the
Pakistan
past in the form of the surgical strike last year in September. Brigadier.
The surgical strikes were very limited in geographical depth. They were 2 to 6 kilometers in sight, and they were comparatively very close to the border, which could be managed easily. Whereas if you go for the terrorist camps, they are well within the Pakistan territory. Going there and coming back has to be considered and very well planned and catered for. And also you have to have a pakka intelligence, which are the high value targets where these camps are. If you hit a camp without achieving causing sufficient casualty to the high value terrorists, then it's of no use, because then you are beating the ground. Aim is not to beat the ground, aim is to beat the terrorists and eliminate them. So that can be worked out by our intelligence agencies, and then of course the forces can be tasked to carry out the operation. But then we also have to prepare for the matching retaliation, which certainly will take place or should take place, because remember, Pakistan is a rogue state.
Right.
They will not like to lose their face internationally if they permit any long-range raid in them. Remember, surgical strike, they just denied, because if they had accepted it, then they had to retaliate or take some action. To avoid taking action, they just denied. But if we hit deep inside, then the deniability factor will not be there for them.
That's right. That's what my colleague, Assistant Editor Ashish
So
Singh
we
had
can
mentioned
consider
here as well, that if India would choose to go ahead with a similar such attack, not on that level, that scale perhaps, but it is a rogue state of Pakistan that we would eventually be dealing with. Ashish.
That's right. As Brigadier just mentioned, that there's high difference as far as the capabilities between US and Afghanistan are concerned, and India and Pakistan are concerned. Pakistan has got quite a strong air defense system, so it's not going to be certainly the similar kind of operation that US did on Afghanistan soil that India would be able to do on Pakistan. But yes, there is a possibility. It gives a huge platform. And if you see the army chiefs interviewed 3 months ago, and the other officers I've been speaking to in the Ministry of Defense, they tell us that India on ground level, the Indian forces on ground level in Kashmir, they keep coming up with new ideas. They have been tasked to come up with new strategies, evolve the SOPs and the new strike capabilities, the mechanism, the methodology and the deep penetration planning. That is something India has already, as far as the plans and the options are concerned. But it's only up to the government that once we do any such strike on the terror launch pads in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, then the retaliation from the Pakistan side is going to be something that we need to first think about before going for the first strike capability. Now, these are the main aspects that makes very difference between India and Pakistan and US and Afghanistan. As I mentioned, Afghanistan hardly has any air defense. US MC, this particular aircraft was MC-130 US Air Force aircraft that went ahead and bombed the biggest non-nuclear bomb the world has ever witnessed as far as the combat usage is concerned. India, as far as the capability-wise concerned, we have a lot of these capabilities. It not match as far as the capabilities of US forces are concerned, but we need not use that bigger capability to neutralize those terror launch pads. There are smaller operations, covert operations, that would be enough to at least destroy these terror launch pads temporarily. But yes, overall, if you see at the international forum level, it gives India a lot more leverage. It gives a lot of platform for India in case we go ahead and strike in POK on those particular terror launch pads. Then certainly the international community is bound to support us in a much better manner compared to what they could have done, say, yesterday afternoon. Apart from that, the other aspect that we must consider is the China's reaction. If you see, China has not reacted to a larger extent, or at least in direct, openly against the US airstrike that was done yesterday evening.
Right.
We know that China would be one country that will come to rescue of Pakistan. If China is not taking this Moab airstrike by US as a political message at the international level, then certainly it's going to make our job much easier. But if China reacts now, then certainly India will have to think at least little more before we do any such similar, slightly lesser in magnitude activity against terror launch pads in POK.
Right. Brigadier, would you be in agreement with that? The manner in which the global reactions are coming in to United States pointed attack in specifying that this was an attack which was decided to go ahead with was only to target ISIS.
You see, ICIC is a threat to the entire region. So we cannot compare the ISIS with Pakistani-based terrorists, because the terrorists which are acting against India are only India-specific, whereas ISIS is the region-specific. In fact, I would say even much beyond the region. So what America did to ISIS is acceptable to the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is also concerned about the threat and danger from ISIS. Right. But as compared to Pakistan, the rest of the world is not perhaps as much worried as they are worried about ISIS. And second, the Chinese reaction. Chinese will be very happy if ISIS is neutralized, because they also will be concerned about the terrorists in their Xinjiang region, that is Uyghur terrorists. So to eliminate ISIS by any action, including by USA, is welcome by China. But China will not like the same thing to be repeated against Pakistan by India, because China, basically Pakistan is a proxy of China. Pakistan is doing all at behalf of China to weaken India. So if we do something against Pakistan which is big enough, China may certainly react. But again, if we have the capability, then the reaction, verbal reaction doesn't bother us. A physical reaction, I don't think they will be in a position at this point of time to do anything.
But Ashish, I would like you to step in at this point to explain that the terror that is emanating from Pakistan, from the terror camps in Pakistan, is not just targeting India, but also destabilizing the entire South Asia region, the South Asian subcontinent region as well.
That's true, and don't forget, until a few years ago, the world's most wanted man, Osama bin Laden, was there right in just the vicinity of the Pakistani army cantonment area, Abbottabad. So it's not only just the South East Asia region, but at the international level, Pakistan has been giving a lot of platform. Unfortunately, with the support getting from China, that Jamaat-ud-Dawa, Lashkar-e-Toiba, and many such terror organizations have been flourishing in Pakistan.
Exactly.
And with the help of China, the United Nations as well has not been able to do much because of the technical hold extended by China against, say, Masood Azhar and many such terrorists. US, unfortunately, has not been able to do much as far as the entire episode between India and Pakistan and eliminating terrorism, terror launch pads from Pakistan is concerned. We know that in recent past, US has been losing its grip on Pakistan, and Pakistan has been going slightly more towards China. So this is something that has been a worrying problem, not only for the Southeast Asia region, but also for the entire world.
Absolutely. Well pointed out there, Ashish. Many thanks for those updates. Appreciate retired Brigadier Harbans Singh for being with us this afternoon. We'll leave it at that.